What's up, everyone? I recently had a crash of my AliExpress Superbike, my TanTan X68, and it was during a crit race in which I came down with a few others. And in today's video, I want to tell you how much it costs to repair or replace certain parts of the bike after the crash and how long it takes to recover from a crash like this. Now, if you're squeamish, please skip forward 15 seconds. Here is what I look like after the crash. You can see that I had quite significant abrasions on my upper back, my elbow, my hand. I also had some abrasions on my right butt cheek and my knee as well. But luckily I didn't break anything, so that was quite nice. So let's talk about the damage that the TanTan took and how much it's going to cost to replace everything first. So if we look at the saddle, this is my PLSELIS 3D printed saddle. You can see that there's quite a substantial amount of damage on the right side here to both the 3D printed mesh and to the carbon body. So I will be replacing this. It held up pretty well given that it did take quite a big impact. You know, it's not like the saddle cracked completely. It is still functional, I suppose, but just for safety and aesthetics, I will replace that, which will be about $40 US. Moving down to the pedal here. This is my carbon lightweight ONIRII pedal, and you can see quite a bit of damage was dealt to the pedal here. Again, it is still functional. I could technically use this, but just for safety and aesthetics, I will be replacing these. So that's about $40 to replace these pedals. If we move back to the rear derailleur, you can see that my 105 Di2 derailleur took quite a nasty scratch here. It is still functional, although the derailleur cage is significantly bent. So the cage with the oversized pulley wheels does need to be replaced. But I think during the crash, most of the flex occurred in the hanger and the cage to the point where the derailleur, according to my mechanic, is still functional. But just for aesthetics, I will be replacing this with an Ultegra one, which is about $200 US. And I'm changing cage to a more Aero oversized pulley wheel system, which is about $40 US. So that would be a nice little upgrade to this part of the bike. Now, moving forward, this is where a lot of the damage to the bike occurred. You can see that the fork took quite a nasty hit here, and especially down here as well. You can see the through axle is being kind of almost sawed off right there. So this fork definitely is not safe to ride. I will be replacing the fork. That's about $250 US. So that's quite a significant expense. In terms of the wheels, you can see there's quite a number of scratches along the wheels. And the initial mechanics report, due to the damage to all these components, including the wheels and the frame, the initial mechanics report wrote this off as a total loss. But I did get a second opinion from a carbon expert who examined it more carefully, and he did say that the wheels should be fine to ride, but I will be touching them up with a carbon matte black pen that I have. If we move up to the handlebars, now they did take quite a beating. You can see quite a lot of damage here and down here as well. There could easily be some cracking in the handlebars. It's hard to say, but you can see the actual weave of the carbon is coming apart here, as well as the bar tape. So the bars I will be replacing, it's about $120 US for these ROVAL-style bars, and the bar tape I'll be replacing for about $10 US there. If we go down to the rear wheel, you can see the rear wheel did take a little bit of a scratch here. Not as much damage as the front wheel, but a little bit of damage right there. If we look at the frame did take a little bit of a scratch right here as well. And the damage to all these components is why the initial mechanics report, which was used for the insurance claim, did say that it was basically damaged beyond repair. But then the carbon specialist did a more thorough examination of the frame and wheels and said they should be fine to continue riding on. The other things that I had to replace were my skin suit. I bought a Darevie Skinsuit and my Aero shoe covers, which I replaced with the same ones. In terms of how the crash happened, essentially on corner 2 of the Glenvale Crit circuit in Melbourne, Australia, there is a bit of a slide downhill, and so often crashes do occur based on the higher speed there. I don't know whether it was someone's wheel slipping out or a pedal strike on that corner, but basically 6 of us went down. It was kind of an unavoidable crash, unfortunately. Not much could be done in that situation. So if we add up all of those expenses, it's going to be around $800 to replace everything, not including labor costs. Fortunately, I did have insurance, so I won't be out of pocket as a result of this crash, but it is a good reminder if you are racing, definitely get your bike insured. I mean, this whole build is under $3,000, but if you have a bike over around $2,000, then you definitely want to get it insured in case this sort of thing happens, because it is unfortunately a normal part of racing. Now, let's talk about the recovery process. For the first 2 days, I had quite significant bruising on my hip, so I couldn't walk properly. I was basically just in bed. After that, it did start improving and I was able to walk. And I got back to training on the 9th day after my crash. It felt completely fine, so I trained consistently since then. Now it's been 2.5 weeks and my wounds are pretty much completely healed. I don't need any more bandages or any painkillers. So overall, the timeline was essentially 4 days until I could start walking again. Then 9 days till I could start training again, and about 2 weeks until I was mostly healed, about 95%. So guys, I hope this video is informative. Crashes do happen, so it's good to be prepared mentally and financially for them. You know, I had insurance, I had health insurance as well, so it wasn't too bad at all. And luckily my crash wasn't too severe. If you are interested in any of the products that I'm upgrading or replacing, I've got links to the AliExpress products in the description. And let me know in the comments, have you ever had a bad bike crash? What happened? How long was the recovery? And what was the cost to replace your bike? Let me know down below. I read every comment. And as always, make sure to like and subscribe. Thanks, guys.